Hello you lovely people and welcome. Yesterday was the 6th of June 2024, the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings at Normandy, and with that a package was released in conjunction, that being the Douglas C-47 and the Waco CG4A. So what I'm going to do is just going to delve into this, break it down, and hopefully show you everything that it features. So we're going to get into the liveries for the C-47. So as you can see, we've got M5 here, which is the only United States Army Air Force livery there is, and then we've got United States Navy 159 based out of Keflavik. Now we have M5 as a standard cargo carrier. We have M5 lead ship, which is the converted Paratrooper dropship, and then we have the M5 tow plane. We can't actually fly this variant. It's in there for the reason of being a tow plane when you're flying in the CG4A. But yeah, that's the converted tow plane. And the United States Navy 159 is just bog standard cargo, same as the M5 variant. So I'm going to show you the internals of both of these, and we'll take the lead ship up for a flight, and then we'll move on to the Waco CG4A. So let's jump in. Well, let's start off by taking a look inside the cockpit. This is the cargo variant. As you can see, it's not too dissimilar to the DC-3. In fact, it's pretty much a carbon copy, just a few different colours altered to give the feel of a United States Army Air Force version. As you can see, if we look down the back there, you've got cargo in the hold. And obviously you've got your radio operator and navigator rooms back there as well. So looking about, you've got a quick start there, cold and dark there, and all your main internal lights, ground power for your battery cart, obviously your batteries on board, passing light, landing lights, up here beacon, nav lights, light or bright, windshield de-ice, pitot, heaters here, and then we've got primers there. They've got a prop de-ice, and then internal lighting and prop feather switch there. Got our radios here, magnetos, our decision height, whiskey compass, our pilot wipers. This is our pretty much for our autopilot. And all our gauges, I'm not going to go through all of those, but you know, you've got RPMs and manifold pressures, altitude, you know, all that sort of stuff. Down the sides we've got pitch trim, take the armrests up, got a fire extinguisher there. Under there is this green knob here is the steering lock for the tail wheel. Got trims, emergency autopilot power, superchargers, our fuel tank selectors, our carburetor heats. Obviously we've got our throttles, our pitch trim and mixtures. Over here we can hide the flight yoke. We've got our cowl flap here, and we've got a dude here that I can't seem to make him disappear. We can toggle the masks on and off with the oxygen switch. We've got an escape hatch at the top there that doesn't do anything, a hydraulic selector there, so we can switch that from left to right, and at this moment in time, for some reason I have forgotten how to do that. There we go. So you can switch between the which hydraulics you want to pump up. You've got a flap handle there, hydraulic pressure pump, and we've got hydraulic shuttle valve and emergency autopilot valve there. Here we've got open crew door, So that'll open the one out the side here. I'm going to take a look outside anyway. I've chosen the naval livery simply because it only... oh, there we go, it's remove co-pilot there, so we can get to... there's nothing extra. But yeah, you can remove him and put him back. Co-pilot's not too badly done. Texturing on the clothing is a bit hit and miss, and so are the straps for the seat, but he's there to add to anything that you may want a co-pilot for. Okay, so this is the cockpit. We just can jump outside. Oh wait a minute, I haven't done the right side. So we've got our energizer and mesh starters here, and a booster pumps. Got the inverter there, and a pedestal light, and then we've got other lights here for the prop for the right engine as well. So let's jump outside, take a look at the livery. Okay, so you can see that I've left the crew hatch open. I switched on the ground power just to show you what that looks like. Opens the battery compartments here, and there's your battery cart with the lead going up into it, ready for a ground start. Looking around, you've got your extra pilot or crew member there ready to climb aboard. And as I say, looking around, the livery is not too bad. Nice weathering on it as well, give it a worn look, but it looks like it seems to, maybe this was an afterthought and looks like it's been rushed, but there are a couple of areas on the back end here which I'm sure they know about and will probably get fixed on a later update, and the same goes for the other side, unless that's actually how the aircraft looked. I'm not 100% sure, but that doesn't look quite right to me. But yeah, quite nice looking outside. Nice bright danger striping there for the props, and air rescue, and nice sort of a day glow orangey red on white and silver, which is always a nice mixture of colours. Now what I'm going to do is going to jump back in, but we're going to look down the rest of the fuselage. I'll be doing that in showcase mode, so it may be a little bit jolty because I'm doing it via keyboard buttons. So let's jump back in. Okay, so we start in the cockpit area. You see it's really nicely textured inside. I mean, the wear and tear in this looks incredible. But yeah, that's the pilot, co-pilot. So if we turn round, this is where our hydraulic pumps and switches are. Got some circuit breakers down the side here in the main junction box. Now if we move down, as I say, it's going to be a bit clunky because I'm using keyboard controls. So in here we've got a radio operator with various radios in there. Over this side we've got a navigator with all the equipment there for that person. As we come down, we have our cargo. Seems to be very back heavy, quite empty in between in the middle there, so that would make for a nose trim heavy flight by the looks of things, depending on what the cargo is. But yeah, coming back down here, some more boxes, and then we've got our two cargo doors which can be opened from the cockpit. I'll show you those now. And there you go, that's it with the cargo doors open at the back. Looks quite good. So yeah, that's with all the dangly bits out and doors open and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load back in with the lead ship aircraft with the paratroopers on board, and we'll take a quick look through that. So now we're in the lead ship for the paratroopers, and if we look back here, you can see we've got the guys sitting in the back waiting to do their jump. And if we look in the cockpit, pretty much identical, apart from if we come up here, you'll see that we have an extra switch, a jump door switch. Now flick that and that'll open the cargo door, and if we flick this it will actually dispense paratroopers. So let's have a look outside at the livery and the aircraft configured how I had it with the naval version. So here we are, configured exactly the same as we were before. We've got the power cart, we've got the extra crewman in the crew door. What you'll notice is that you've got an extra bump here under the fuselage. I'm not sure if that's actually a radar of some sort, or I don't know much about the C-47, so possibly. You can see the crudely painted D-Day invasion stripes have been applied, which actually looks pretty good. And all the wear and tear in the dirt, and look like they've had a proper good use. As you can see, we've got jump door open. We've got a member of the paratroops ready to jump, and we'll do an internal inspection in a second. So if we come over to the other side, and the liveries are lovely. There's just not very many of them. There's a couple of mistakes here and there, but like I say, they can be fixed. All in all, looks really good. Internally, I can't fault it at all. So let's jump in the back of the aircraft and have a look at the seats and stuff. Okay, so looking around again at the pilot co-pilot positions, again the texture is fantastic, probably just a carbon copy. There's the access door and ladder with the extra crewman. If we turn round, we have our like I said before, the radio operator and navigator, and then in the back here we have well, they don't look like the most comfortable seats in the world, and the creepiest looking mannequins I've seen since the last time I went into the Land Warfare Museum at Duxford. Yeah, they're not brilliant, but they're there, and creepy as hell. And the dude at the back here in his jump position. These cargo doors can also be opened from the cockpit like before. There seems to be a bit of a gap between the fuselage and the actual doors themselves. I know for a fact that's not supposed to be like that, but you know, I don't know if this was rushed as part of it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day, quick, let's get this out as quick as possible, or if it's just bits that have been missed. But all in all, it's not a bad effort. For the price, you really can't complain. It was only 12 quid, same as the Skyvan, but you get a bit more with this one. So let's get this aircraft started up and let's get her up in the air. As you can see, the engines are started, so let's have a listen to the sounds. Sounds pretty good to me. Sounds good. Really like that. Let's jump in the cockpit. We've got the window open at the moment. Let's see what happens when I shut the window. Yeah, a little bit quieter. That's at full chat anyway. Okay, so as you can see we're all good to go, lights are on. Is everything in the green? Yep, pretty much good to roll out, so we'll take the parking brake off. The steering lock is off. So ground handling, it actually does feel like a big heavy aircraft, so you need to be on the ball when making the turns, because you will miss your turn if you don't plan it right. And keep it nice and slow for the taxiing, so you get the most out of your steering. Brakes are good on this. Start turning now. Okay, yeah, planned that quite well, if I do say so myself. Right then, we'll stop here and just do a couple more checks before we go. Get our landing lights on. Okay, we'll get some heaters on. Prop de-icer. I've got live weather on, so it shouldn't cause any problems with the icing, but you never know. Let's roll out. Start turning now. A little bit more left engine. Okay. Right, we are good to go. Keep the brakes on, throttle up. Brakes off. Should have put the tail lock on, tail wheel lock. Well, don't need it now because the wheel is off the ground. Pull up, and we're up. Gear up. Flaps up. Trim out. I've got a little bit of a side wind today. Little bit of deception that I've found flying this. Even though you look like you're nose down in this, you are still climbing. So that's something to get used to. A little bit of right rudder trim, I think, just to keep it in line. There we go. Throttle back a little bit. Bring the RPMs back past the red line. Okay, so you know, roll authority nice and heavy, pitch authority again nice and heavy, as is yaw. Handles pretty well actually, to be fair. Not really much else to say about it really. I mean, if you've flown the DC-3, and the C-47 is not really going to be any different. The main part of this package where it shines is in the CG4A, which I'll show you very shortly. Check the wipers out. Yep, they work. See if we can get back in Duxford. So what's the speed at? So we're about 2,500 feet. Actually no, we'll fly over the top because I'm going to drop these paratroopers. Need to be around about 800 feet apparently, according to the manual. A comfortable paratroop drop is at around about 800 feet. Still got my cowl flaps open. Should put them on trail really. In fact, I'll do that now. Okay. See if they're acting like they should be. Yep. So the faster the air that flows over the cowl flaps in trail mode, they'll adhere to the cowling. The slower the airflow, the more they open. But the thing with the cowl flaps, I don't know why I'm doing this, this is not a demo, but the thing to do with cowl flaps is to always have them open on the ground, per the manual. Let's jump back in. Okay, so let's slow it down and get it down to 800 feet. Where's that M11? There's Duxford. There we go. So I'm going to get down to around about 800 feet. And get the jump door open. Doink. Drop them across the airfield. And 1,500 feet will do. Okay, so let's get ready and we will flick the switch in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, it looks a bit crude, but we do have paratroopers, and you can see the static lines hitting the side of the fuselage, which is a nice little addition. Okay, let's see if we can go around again and land. As far as I know, the paratroopers, they disappear after a little while. They don't actually, I don't think they stay on the ground either. So slow it down now. Get that gear down. Start getting the flaps down. Okay, and that's me down. Right, so that's it for the C-47. Let's jump in the CG-4A. So here's where the package shines. The CG-4A glider here. So I'm going to click on that. Liveries, you only get the one livery, called Falcon. Weight and balance, you can't really adjust anything. Well, you can, but be pointless. So the thing to remember with this is to always go into your launch method, because by default every single time your aero tow will be the Textron Aviation Cessna Skyhawk 172. Now if that's kept, you ain't getting off the ground. So just make sure you come in and choose C-47 or something that's heavy, that's going to get this thing off the ground. And you've got DA-50s, that's an extra payware. So is the Vulgar, and then got the got Friends winch and some Asobo winches as well. But this is going to be our main method here. So always check your launch method before you get into the flight, otherwise you've got to restart everything. So that's been selected. We're going to take off on the grass strip at Duxford. Obviously we can't taxi out in a glider, so we need to start there. Okay, we're in live weather, just to prove that. Not ideal, bit windy, bit gusty, but should provide some fun flying. So we're inside the Waco CG4A. Looking around, you can see it's a bit beaten up. Looks quite nicely textured inside. Very greenhouse at the front. Lots of cables, pulleys and levers. That will be explained as we go around the cockpit. If we look behind us, we have some more mannequins and a Willys Jeep at the back there. There's no point in me going right down the back there because you can pretty much see everything from these really nasty looking seats, which must have been horrible to have used in flying into combat. And the worst thing about it, you go through all that training as a glider pilot, you get down the other end, you fly in, you go through all that stress of trying to get these guys on the ground. Once everything's out of the glider, if you're still alive, you have to pick a gun up and join the fight with everybody. I mean, obviously, but there's no return back and fly more supplies in. You are now part of the ground forces, so there's extra stress on that guy. He may have just gone through hell getting you on the ground. He's not going to be any fit state to fight once he gets there. But like I say, that's even if he'd survived, bless him. So the things these poor guys went through must have been horrific. So looking around the glider, as I say, we've got loads of pulleys, cables, bits and pieces. So if we start from the left, we have the speed brakes, just like the gliders we have today. You pull that and big slabs pop up on top of the wings, like hitting barn doors basically when you're in a glider, not to be deployed until you're pretty much over your landing destination. And then from there we've got a clock, nice big old steering wheel with cables, pulleys and chains, pull backwards and forwards. All the controls are linked to the top there, which go to the sides, which then pull down there and then into the wings. Quite a good system really. And then we do have an instrument panel. We've got turn slip indicator, VVI, our speed and our altitude and the compass. We have battery switch, and we've got port and starboard navigation lights, our landing lights, and then recognition lights and a dimmer for inside the inside the glider, I believe. Is there any lights around? Yeah, there is. There's lighting, cabin lighting up here as well. And then coming over to the right hand side, again the co-pilot or other infantryman has a speed brake lever just in case. We've got this lever which opens the front of the glider. I'll get to that in a minute. We've got a request tow plane, so if you're just sitting in a field you can actually request that, which is great. Then if we follow these cables up, we have release a gear assembly. What that does is release the launch gear, a bit like the pogos on a U2 or the wheels on the ME163. And then we've got cable release, which will release this cable here off the C-47 and let us go on our merry way. So if we quickly go outside and we'll have a look at the livery. Okay, there she is in all her glory. Forget this dude here, that's just part of the launch mechanism for gliders in Flight Sim. You get this guy. They usually run as they make sure that the wings are nice and level for launch. There's the gear I was telling you about that you can release. That's where the front of the glider will open up and everything can bundle out. And you've got a set of 4 skids, and you've got your D-Day invasion stripes, got a little tail wheel, and yeah, looks very good. Little portholes as well, very nicely done. And then we've got our cable system here, which can be released from inside the cockpit. But yeah, let's get back inside and get some things fired up. And before we do that, I'll open this up quickly. Okay, that puts a Jeep out the front. As you can see, seats and everything go upwards. We jump outside again. Okay, so we've got both our pilots in a Willys Jeep, and guys ready to jump out. Obviously, you would do this once you're on the ground after doing a landing without the launch gear. But yeah, very nice addition as well. So jump back in, and you can pull that lever again. Where is it? And close it back up again. So there you go. We can get this thing up in the air. I didn't know if there was a way of getting a co-pilot to show up in this, but yeah, you've got your trim winches here. So yeah, you can do that as well manually if you so wish. Now let's get this thing up in the air. So hold on to your hats. Here we go. See, that side wind is kicking the rudder. We're off the ground. Okay. The idea is to stay above the Dakota. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly release the landing gear so that we no longer have wheels. Jump outside and have a look. There we go, it's just a glider, nothing extra now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay with the C-47 until get to I don't know, 1,500 feet, turn around and land back at Duxford. But you can set a flight plan, go to wherever you need to go, and obviously the Dakota will follow that all the way to where you want to be, and you can release yourself and fly the rest of the way there. I should have checked the max ceiling for the CG4A. I would say anything up to 10,000 feet, where you wouldn't need oxygen, I guess. Okay, so 1,500 feet. Once that gets to 2,000, I'll release the winch, or the cable, even. Okay, we're approaching 2,000. Okay, coming up to it now. Pull this cable. Okay, and we're free. You can see C-47 is now off. I'm not quite sure what happens with that now. We'll keep the speed above 60 knots or 60 miles per hour, whatever that is on the gauge. It is mph, so above 60 miles per hour. And you'll be quite pleasantly surprised once trimmed out how long this thing can actually stay up in the air for. Like I say, as long as you trim it out, it's not looking too good weather-wise. So if we trim it out so that we've got slightly nose down, we don't want too much, obviously. Okay. Just trim that out there. There we go. Keep speed at around 100 miles an hour. As you can see, we've hardly lost any height. We haven't. We're still at 2,000 feet. Oh Christ, that don't look good. There we go. Let's get this thing on the ground. Maybe 2,000 feet was a bit of a too high up. Got to switch the nav lights on, the landing lights. You can see I've got the landing lights on, got the nav lights on the wingtips. Get recognition lights, these three lights at the top here, we've got a red, a green and a blue. You can switch them on and off with this panel here. And we've got a light dimmer. Let's turn on the light. I don't know whether the lights are for inside there or what, but we're going to turn back round now. What's the speed we're doing? 100 miles an hour. Okay, we're coming down to 1,300 feet. And if you keep your ball inside the spirit level part there in the turn slip indicator, this thing handles superbly in turns as well. It really is a great little glider. Like I say, this is where the package excels. I absolutely love this thing so much that I would love to do a flight from, I don't know, maybe Duxford to Normandy and land, try and find a designated landing area and try and get there in this. That'd be quite fun with a group of people. Be a lot of aircraft in the sky. Okay, so it's just hovering over 110 miles an hour. Not a problem. I'm just going to land between the two runways. I'll get the barn doors open in a minute. Over the M11. Okay, and air brakes out now. Whoa, it's like hitting a barn door like I said before. Okay, all good. Everybody out! Go, go, go! Jump outside, and you can see those are the air brakes there, and landed quite nicely. It's such an easy glider to fly. Not aerobatic obviously, but still great fun. So there you go. Let's jump into the review. So in summary, C-47, lovely add-on, one that's been missing from the pack for a while. Okay, yeah, you can get liveries for the DC-3, but it's not the same. And it's nice that you get 3 different variants: tow plane, paratroops, and cargo. 2 liveries, very nice. Would have been nice to have a few United States Army Air Force liveries. My fear is that if someone buys this and they want another livery, it's not going to happen. It'd be nice if there were some livery packs to go with it, because they're very thin on the ground. Gliders don't matter too much. These C-47s, they do, because there are some very recognisable ones that are still flying today. So it's nice that we've got the different variants. We've got the paradrop that you can do in that version of it. Some nice little add-ons. Creepy mannequin people, which I don't like unless they're made well. I really don't like them, because mannequins I don't have a thing for. So basically, the C-47 is a carbon copy of the Airplane Heaven DC-3, just with different insides and a few extras thrown in. Not going to complain about that, to be fair, because they are pretty much the same aircraft, but with different mission types. So I can see where it's just different. It's just some cosmetic changes, not really needed to change the flight model much at all, if any, if at all. So that was a pretty easy thing to do, I would have thought. Whereas all of the work went into the CG-4A glider, which, yes, it has 1 livery, but no, there we go. You've got max speed 130 knots indicated, glide ratio 48. Okay, yeah, so fantastic model. The interior's textured lovely. I love the fact that you can dispose of the launch gear. I've actually flown it and landed back on the wheels. Obviously you're not supposed to do that, but I've managed it. Actually handles quite nice. You can feel a little bit of weight with that on anyway. The opening of the actual fuselage with the extra Willys Jeep and extra figures, all a nice addition. But the actual flight model itself is really good. It glides really well. It doesn't tank, it doesn't fall out the sky unless you stick the nose right down. Speed brakes work a treat. Just don't open them unless you are definitely going to go land, because they will knock the wind right out of it. But for £12 and 100% of the proceeds went to the USO, which I'm all for, I think that's fantastic. Money went to a worthy cause, and it's very much worth the £12. Other currencies are applicable, but if you're looking for something a little bit different, which with the launch, with the launching of your C-47 being towed along, it's quite an experience, so one I would recommend. So yeah, definitely big thumbs up. Nice work. I know it's Aeroplane Heaven and they can be a bit hit and miss sometimes, but I feel with the glider side they've done a fantastic job. So I'm going to leave it there. And if you've got this far, thank you very much, and as always, take care, and I will catch you in the next one.